Hi, my name is Aoife and I work in Thurles Library. So I have two more Christmas stories for you today. These two here. So our first story is called The Night Before Christmas, and it's written by Kes Gray and Claire Powell, and it's published by Hodder Press. 'Twas the night before Christmas. That's Christmas Eve, and Santa was wiping his brow on his sleeve. Green elves were sewing, blue elves were counting, red elves were carving, the pressure was mounting. "Be quick," Santa bellowed, "there's so much to do. My list is so long, it just isn't true." The elves put their heads down and trebled their speed. 10 billion presents were what they would need. Swing balls were tested, puppets were strung, board games were boxed and slinkies were sprung. Skateboards were oiled, yo-yos were threaded, dollies were dressed and teddies were tedded. The workshop resounded with elves hard at work. There was no time to rest, there was no time to shirk. Santa looked down and studied his list. He was sure there was something he'd missed. Aeroplanes, bicycles, boomerangs, drums, pogo sticks, spinning tops, sugar mice, sugar plums. He ticked all the boxes, then turned with a jump. Mrs. Claus had arrived with a plate and the hump. "Santa," she grumbled, "you've been asked, you've been told. Now look what's happened, your dinner's gone cold." Santa frowned crossly. "I've no time to eat. There's reindeer to ready and deadlines to meet." The cold winter stew got plonked on a table. Santa harumphed and went to the stable. Up Dasher, up Dancer, up Donner and Blitzen, up Comet, up Cupid, up Prancer and Vixen. The reindeer woke up and climbed to their feet. They had slept for a year and needed to eat. With reindeer refueling and time ticking by, Santa ran out and looked at the sky. The North Star was twinkling, snowflakes were falling. Excitement was building, Christmas was calling. Back in the workshop, the shelves were now lined with presents and gifts of every kind. Kites had been ribboned, printing sets inked, spinning tops balanced, tiddlies winked. Toys had been tested, batteries loaded, instruments tuned, and computer games coded. "Remember," said Santa, "our schedule is tight." The elves gave a nod and worked through the night. Pop guns were loaded, footballs inflated, candy canes twisted, and train sets tin-plated. Dolls' clothes were folded, annuals were printed, tangerines polished, and chocolate coins minted. Santa thought hard as the present pile grew. He was sure there was something he'd forgotten to do. With takeoff time now only hours away, he raced back inside to inspect the sleigh. The elves in high vis had done Santa proud. "Da-da!" they exclaimed as they threw off the shroud. Jet washed and polished, red, silver and gold, the sleigh was a picture, a joy to behold. "Good job," Santa shouted, "3 cheers for you. If I didn't know better, I'd say it was new." Inside the workshop, the elves began clapping. The presents were made, it was time to get wrapping. Paper was folded, scissors were snipped, labels were written, and fountain pens dipped. "Keep going," cried Santa. "It's Christmas Eve morning. There's no time for breakfast and no time for yawning." I guess you could say that elves have a knack. See, 10 billion presents in one magic sack. "You've done it," cheered Santa. "We're done, we are there. And not only that, with minutes to spare."
He ran through the list and checked it all through. What was it? What was it he had forgotten to do? With a wave to his helpers, he raced to the sleigh, made himself comfy, and sat-naved the way. Giddy up, Santa cried, with a nod and a wink. The reindeer took off and were gone in a blink. As dry leaves before a spent hurricane slow, so calmness returned to the landscape below. Chaos and mayhem became stillness and peace, until Mrs. Claus ran out in her best winter fleece. Santa, she panted, jumping the gate. But Santa was gone. Mrs. Claus was too late. It's the same every year, she said with a wave. Nicholas, my dear, you've forgotten to shave. The end.
Now, our next story today is called Santa's New Beard, and it's written by Crowe and it's published by Faber and Faber.
The big red suit was ironed and ready. The elves had stuffed the final teddy, when from the bathroom came a yelp. Ho, ho, oh no, quick someone help. The elves dashed in there in a hurry. Whatever's wrong, we're here, don't worry. But one elf made a squeaking sound when Santa slowly turned around. I did the most ginormous cough and shaved my famous beard right off. The children won't know that I'm me. We can't let anybody see. We'll fix it, cried the worried elves. They rifled through the workshop shelves. You've seen the toys the elves can make. A beard would be a piece of cake. We'll stick the bits back on with glue. Your beard will look as good as new. Or maybe not. Come on, elves, think. Let's try the bubbles from the sink. It looked like it might work at first, but one by one the bubbles burst. The kitchen elf came running in, alerted by the awful din. Some squirty cream will do the trick. But Rudolph ate it with one lick. Elves were racing round and round, grabbing anything they found. The snowbeard melted straight away. The workshop cat just wouldn't stay. Mashed potato wasn't right. Candy floss was pink, not white. They knitted an amazing one, a beard with sparkles just for fun. But it gave Santa such a tickle, he got into an awful pickle. Nothing works, I'll have to hide. I can't go out like this, he sighed. Unpack the sleigh, we're staying here. There'll be no Christmas gifts this year. But in the barn, someone was busy. A teeny tiny elf called Lizzie. She took the reindeer from each stall, and with permission from them all, she snipped a bit of pure white fluff, that really soft and silky stuff. From every reindeer's stubby tail, this had to work, she couldn't fail. She sewed and sewed without a break, except to nibble Christmas cake. And underneath the setting sun, the elf sat back, her work was done. When Santa saw, he clapped and cheered. You clever elf, a brand new beard. Repack the sleigh, it's time to go. Happy Christmas, ho, ho, ho. To keep the reindeer's bottoms warm, now that their fluffy tails were shorn. Just look what Mrs. Claus had done. Christmas pants for everyone. That tiny elf who saved the day no longer sweeps the reindeer hay. She's head inventor, now you know who helped make Rudolph's red nose glow. You boys and girls are clever though, and know that beards take time to grow. So if you visit him this year and have a chance to get quite near, before you do a double take and shout that Santa's beard is fake. He might have done a giant cough and shaved his famous beard right off. The end.